Once in a time when things cost much less than they do today, a young boy who was around 10 years old stepped into a coffee shop. He found a seat at an empty table and waited quietly. Soon, a waitress came over and placed a glass of water in front of him. The boy looked up and asked, "How much is an ice cream sundae 50 cents?" The waitress replied. Her tone was brisk but polite. The boy reached into his pocket and pulled out a few coins. He began counting them carefully, while the waitress was watching him as the boy was counting. The waitress was getting impatient. After a while, the boy paused and looked up again. "How much for just plain ice cream?" he asked again by now. The coffee shop had started to fill, and a small line of people were waiting for a table. The waitress, feeling the pressure of the growing crow, was becoming a bit irritated. 35 cents, she replied rudely. The boy nodded and started counting his coins once more. Then with a quiet smile, he said, "I will have the plain ice cream." The waitress soon returned with the plain dish of ice cream. She kept it in front of the boy, along with the bill, and quickly moved on to attend to other customers. The boy ate his ice cream slowly, and saving every bite when he was done, he went over to the cashier, paid his bill, and walked out of the coffee shop. The waitress returned to his table to clear it while cleaning. She noticed something on the table and passed for a moment. She saw that next to the empty dish there were 15 cents, which were placed neatly as a tip. She realized that the boy had only 50 cents. He wanted to eat ice cream of his choice, but he sacrificed his choice and ordered plain ice cream. Instead, the boy was not slow to decide or confused. He was carefully considering his choice because he wanted to ensure he could leave her a tip. However, she had been too quick to judge him, dismissing him as just another child who was wasting her time and disrupting her busy schedule. In her impatience, she behaved rudely with him and overlooked his thoughtfulness. Now her face was flushed with a mix of guilt and regret. She felt deeply sorry for the boy. She wished he would return someday so that she could buy him an ice cream of his choice. But the boy never returned. If we take a moment to reflect, we will see that in our life, we often judge people or situations too quickly. We quickly jump to conclusions based on incomplete information, and that can lead to misunderstandings, hurt feelings, and take wrong decisions. Quick judgments might feel instinctive, but they often paint an inaccurate picture of the truth. In this story, the waitress assumed the boy was wasting her time because he was taking too long to decide. Frustrated by what she saw as indecision, she treated him rudely. What she did not realize was that the boy was being thoughtful and carefully counting his coins to ensure he could leave her a tip. Despite her behavior, he chose kindness over resentment. This teaches us an important lesson. Judging others too quick often blinds us to their true intentions. For instance, when a teacher assumes a student is lazy without understanding their struggles, it can lead to unfair treatment that can damage the student's confidence in relationships. Quick judgments can create misunderstandings that can weaken trust or even cause breakups. The same applies to situations where reacting without full understanding can lead to wrong decisions, which we may regret. Later, the story reminds us to slow down and think before forming any opinion. When we approach life with patience and empathy, we strengthen our relationships and avoid the guilt that comes from acting too quickly. So whenever you feel the urge to judge someone or a situation, just take a step back, reflect, and seek to understand the full story, because it might just change your perspective and lead to a better outcome.